right, and it looks like we are live. Happy Monday after the holiday Monday, our beautiful friends. We are broadcasting live from windy California. It's cold outside and windy. Well, of course, because we are spoiled down here. And I will gladly admit it, that whenever it gets below 70 degrees, I'm freezing. So I'm wearing a nice scarf today while we are waiting for people to tune in, because we will be talking about something very important. Attention, all of you property owners. We have important news, important information welcoming you all. And by the way, Facebook, the fascist book, has been playing all kinds of games with me and my channel. So if the audio is distorted, that's what they've been doing to me. Been testing across different platforms, the same devices, different devices, don't have any problems. But when I get on Facebook Live, this is how they tell me. This is how they tell me that I'm over the target. So if you hear this audio in distorted, kind of little crumbling behind, I apologize for that. Hopefully you can excuse it. It's not on my side. But the important thing is that we will get the truth through. The truth will shine upon all the darkness. So welcoming you all. Happy Monday, everyone, after the holidays. Hopefully you've all had amazing time. Welcoming you all. This is Doug. This is Lenka. And today we will be talking about property and what has been done to our properties. And so today, earlier on, I made a post about this code called Title 31 USC 3124, and it's very important because when you start peeling the onion, you will start discovering a lot of truth, and that they are literally revealing the truth to you in a daylight, and all you have to do is use it and act upon it, because what you will find out is that we are literally volunteering ourselves into involuntary servitude. And that's what, for example, the 31 USC 3124 code is telling to us. So I have a thing here, this thing, it's called a laptop, okay? And I will go online right here on this thing called laptop, and I'm going to do a quick search. And guys, if you have the same thing, you know, if you've been blessed and fortunate and have a computer or laptop like me and have fingers and can type, oh, and very important skill you have to possess, you have to be able to read as well. So if you have all of that, okay, and you put in, because I don't want to give you something, you know, just because Lenka said it. No, 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 no. We have to do research, right? We have to research, and we have to apply our research, and we have to use critical thinking. So put in your computer, I have my computer right here, 31 US, that's Uncle Sam, code 3124, okay? So 31 USC, standing for United States Code 3124. And what will come up, you know, the first one is coming up from the law.cornell Information Institute, which is the Legal Information Institute, I apologize. So it's lawcornell.edu. And what comes out is exemption from taxation. And it reads in section A, stocks and obligations of the United States government are exempt from taxation by a state as capital, or political subdivision of a state. The exemption applies to each form of taxation that would require the obligation, the interest on the obligation, or both to be considered in computing a tax. So what does it really mean? Doug, can you help us out to decode this?
Well, what that's saying is what's exempt from taxation is obligations of the United States. So if obligations of the United States are used in computing the tax, then it's illegal.
Okay, and then what we do, we use again the thing called laptop or computer, and we research what is the obligation or other security of the United States defined. And what you will find out under Title 18, U.S. Code Section 8, that the term obligation or other security of the United States includes all bonds, certificates of indebtedness, national bank currency, Federal Reserve notes, Federal Reserve banknotes, coupons, deposits, bills, checks, or drafts for money drawn by or upon authorized officers of the United States, stamps, and other representatives of value of whatever denomination issued under any act of Congress, and canceled United States stamps. So, Doc, can you decode it for us again? What did that say?
Well, the main thing that's important in there is that they consider Federal Reserve notes obligations of the United States. So that means that if anything is computed using Federal Reserve notes, well, then you can't tax it.
You cannot tax it.
So that means that state property tax, which is computed in Federal Reserve notes, which are obligations of the United States, is exempt from taxation. The states can't charge property tax. Not only that, but in California, the property tax came in under the 1879 California Constitution, which has been repealed.
And guys, we've been talking about it for the longest time. And so no matter how you approach it, you will realize is that it's your volunteering. And many people said, well, if you don't pay it, well, they will do fines and they will do this and they will do that. Well, isn't it now time that you learn who you are and to claim your proper status, your standing, and your character as one of the people? So maybe, Doug, why don't you walk us through, because you've been doing surveys, right? You've been working for licensed surveyor, and you've been working on these meets and bounds and working with the land. So maybe can you walk us through that for a little bit and tell us like what's been really going on?
Yeah, land in the United States is conveyed through meets and bounds only.
United States of America, correct?
United States of America, California state, anything in the Republic, land is conveyed in meets and bounds.
What is meets and bounds?
Meets and bounds is so many feet in a direction before you got to go so many other feet in another direction until you go around the perimeter of your property in however many feet and in what direction. And you describe the land. You actually describe the land. What you're getting right now is an APN number. And I thought they was bullshitting about the APN numbers.
What is APN? What does APN stand for?
Well, I didn't know what it is. They tried to say it was assessor's parcel number. And, like I said, I thought they were bullshitting. I looked all around here and I couldn't find an APN number anywhere. Matter of fact, I called them up, told them to come get their APN number about 3 or 4 times. And, but the other day, I was digging out there out back, and I'll be damned, I didn't find an APN number.
You found an APN number finally on your property, on your land.
So I cleaned it up. I'm going to take it back and I'm going to send it back, give it back to them.
Because I guess, can I borrow it? Can I borrow this APN number?
Oh, I know it's their APN number.
Yeah.
Because right here.
Assessor's parcel number.
Right here. See, right there. It talks about the assessor's parcel number, but APN number right there. There's APN number. It matches the same APN number I found out there. So they can't tell me it's not theirs.
Right, because if it wasn't theirs, it wouldn't say assessor's parcel number. Because if it was yours, right, it would say Doug's.
It would say Doug's parcel number.
So it
Yeah.
would be
Yeah,
DPN.
yeah.
DPN. Doug's parcel
DPN.
number. This one is assessor's parcel number. So I think it belongs to them. So I think you are doing the right thing and returning it to the owner,
It's
right?
not mine.
It's not.
It's trespassing on my property. I don't want it.
So how did this APN number get actually on your property?
I have no idea.
How did it?
I think, look, it comes down to, when you start dealing
What
with,
happened?
when you start dealing with land, watch. When you start dealing with land, what happens is they've got a land patent, okay? My land patent
Looks like that.
looks just like that, okay? That's my land patent. It was signed by Ulysses S. Grant.
Was he a governor?
No, he was the president
He
of
was
the
a
United
president.
States of America.
Of the United States of America.
Okay.
And so your land patent dates pretty far along,
Let's
right?
see, land patent dates back to 18. Where is it signed at?
I know that my land patents date like all the way to like 1850s and 70s.
Yeah, I think this is 1870 something.
Okay.
I can't tell my.
Oh yeah. It's right here. It's on the bottom. It says because it's in
I think it's in there too. Isn't it written out?
let's see here.
1800.
Guys, this is so hard to read, but if you take a magnifying glass, the 10th day of August in this year of the Lord, 1869th.
Okay, 1869.
1869. Here you have it. Okay. Here you have it. That's the land patent.
Okay, and then the land patent, they got a thing called a plat map.
Okay, so let's take it from the beginning. Okay, so the land patent was issued, right?
Right, okay,
And then
now-
so what happened?
Well, here's what that land patent was issued for. This is called a plat map. You see right there, it tells you what the townships are in the range, okay, in the meridian, all right, and then it has all the townships listed, okay, and there's I can't remember, almost 30 townships or something that went with.
So that's for your property.
No, they went with land patent.
Yeah, with the land patent. Yes,
Okay.
that's right.
So then each one of the townships is broke up into 4 quarters.
Okay,
Okay.
you want me to fold it? You
No,
got it.
I got it. And so you get one township that gets broke up into lots. And if you look right here on this map, you can see where the surveyor, let's see, right here, here's the map. You can see where the surveyor came in and surveyed it, signed it, licensed surveyor, and then they cut it up into lots. These, most of them are 2.5 acre lots. The yellow ones right there that are colored in are the 2 lots that I own. Okay. Now this is an actual survey by a land surveyor.
So
Okay?
that's land surveyor are those people who actually go in and they measure from one pipe to another. They put all the degrees, all the inches, all the feet, correct? That's how they define the actual property in the meets and bounds.
So that these when the land surveyor does it, it's in meets and bounds. Let me see if I
Right, so it's in meets and bounds, okay?
Okay. Here's a smaller version of lots. Okay, these are parcels of land, all right, and they're in meets and bounds. And what I mean by meets and bounds is it tells you what direction, what direction this is right here, and what direction this is, and what direction this is, and what direction this is, and how many feet. Okay, that's meets and bounds description of the land. All right, and that's how property is conveyed in the United States of America and in the States United. But what happens is, now here's another one right here. You can get a little bit you can get a little bit better look at it. Okay, this right here is the actual surveyor's map, and this is a quarter of a township that's been cut up. There's your road. Okay, and so those right there are the ones that I own. Okay, and so this is, again, it's a surveyor's map. It's got the degrees, and it's got how many feet, and how many acres, all of that. What happens is you have
and then what happened?
What happens after
then
that
came
is,
1879, where they mirrored the organic constitution.
Hang on, let me show you something real quick. Look, I know you people see, if you look at the ones that are colored in right here, it's got the line drawn around it, a little bit darker, right? That's the property that they claim is mine right here, right here. Only thing is it doesn't have the meets and bounds description, if you notice. Instead, it's been replaced with an APN number. Okay? So what happened is they came, and here's another one. This is another one. The reason I want to show you these two is down here, okay, it says, map for reference purposes only. The County of San Luis Obispo does not assume liability for any damages caused by errors or omissions in the date and makes no warranty of any kind, express or implied, that the data are accurate and reliable. Okay, and then it talks about San Luis Obispo County's Assessor's Office mapping section. I can give you the number if you want, but this was created 5/17/2017. Now, if you get this right here, okay, now this is, if you look at it, you can tell they're the same. This one's just taken like a topographical map, like it's an actual picture. Okay, this is just the black and white. Okay, but if you notice something, if you look down here, right here in this little block here in the corner, let me see if I can get it up there. It says that map is for assessment purposes only, period. Okay, it's a special map that the county assessor, they lay this over the regular survey.
And when we say county, not to be confused with some governmental authority, it's a County of Orange DBA Corporation.
Yes.
Okay, that came in, created this map, assessor's map,
and laid it over the top of the surveyor's map, left off the meets and bounds, and described the land in APNs. Okay.
In APNs. Basically, they created APNs because it's theirs, assessor's parcel number.
Now, what they've done is they've created a false claim on your private property, and they've swindled you. Okay, it's called constructive fraud. They came and told you, made you think you were buying a house, land, and everything else. Well, anything that you thought you were buying, it exists on the assessor's parcel, not yours. Okay? So it doesn't belong to you. The second thing is you used Federal Reserve notes. You used private money from a private corporation that has no intrinsic value or substance behind it. And you gave that to someone for something, okay? But you never had a contract. It never passed anything, because to make something lawful, there has to be substance for substance. They know this. A debt can't get you anything but deeper in debt. And then you don't even have an interest in the debt note. You borrowed it from some lame corporation that they named the Federal Reserve, so you think he's doing something good. Okay? So what you did was you're paying a 30-year mortgage, for an APN number that exists on this piece of paper that sits in a drawer in the assessor's office. That's what you're paying 30 years on right there. A little scrap of paper. Okay, and you don't even own that. It belongs to the assessor. It's in the assessor's drawer. It's got his initials on it. Okay, wake up, people. That's what you get when you deal with a corporate democracy, or how you want to call it, fascism. Okay, and corruption and treason and everything else these people have been doing to us, selling us down the river. All right. They've got us owning nothing and smiling about it. They've locked us into a prison that we love so much because it's comfortable, but it's a prison just the same. So, you know, there's a choice now. Just like all this stuff I just showed you. I know you guys don't have, you know, the time to go out and research all of this and learn all of this. Well, no. People like I have done it for you. All right? Now, I come out here and I try to share it with you because, you know what, I see the pain everybody's going through and, you know, I don't like it, all right? There's only so much I can do, you know? I can lead you to water. I can't make you drink, all right? We're in a war. I can give you a gun, but I can't make you pick it up to shoot, you know? The pen's mightier than the sword. The mind is the best weapon that you have, no matter what you have in your hands. So you need to sharpen your mind and stand up. The California Republic's up and operating, all right? All you people have to do is come on. We don't pay property taxes. That came in with the 1879 corporate constitution where they changed your status and standing without your knowledge and consent from a free elector into a debtor and responsible for whatever debt the government runs up, all right? So these corporations aren't our government either. They're committing fraud with that too, because they're claiming to be a corporation, but they don't have documentation that's required to have a corporation classification. Okay? So these are things that there's a lot that can be done. But until people want to stand up, until you get tired and have suffered enough and want to stand up, you can wallow in your pain. I can't do anything other than this for you.
So I guess what's guys very important to remember here is that you know they created this overlay over the land that has been already declared as free, as sovereign land, because we are no longer under a ruler, but we became back into being under this ruling class, so-called. These public pretenders, and it's time to wake up and break free from this enslavement and move from Babylon. You know, declare who you are and declare your land. You know, bring forward the land patent in your name, because that's been already established. And as we've been speaking over and over, any of their code, statutes, and regulations are null and void here on California, because the 1879 Constitution has been repealed for over 61 years, and it's a matter of a public record. It's been on public record for 61 years, and you have the remedy. You have the remedy to claim back what belongs to you. And so what we are doing here is we are showing you the proofs and the different angles, you know, that no matter how you slice it, even the fact, what I posted today is that challenge your tax assessor and the people that serve you, supposedly, allegedly, and ask them, how are you, this is the initial conversation, the initial challenge to have. How are you assessing my property? In what species are you doing that? Because they won't be able to answer to you. So when you get the presentment, which, you know, many people say that, oh, I got my property tax bill. Well, look at it. They are giving you, first of all, they are basing it on APN number, which is not an actual land. That's a piece of paper, as Doc mentioned, in the assessor's office, in a drawer, okay? And then on the so-called bill, the presentment, they are giving you some numbers, right? And they are putting some dollar signs on it. Well, challenge them. I want to know what kind of species is this assessed in, because we just proved to you at the beginning of the video that they cannot use FRNs, the Federal Reserve notes, and tax you on it. So if they are assessing it in the Federal Reserve notes and then they are putting tax on it, well, now they are in violation of their own of the federal law, of their own codes, of 31 USC 3124.
Well, I say we do better than that. You know, I went and dug around until I found one. I found my APN number. I suggest everybody goes out in their backyard and find theirs.
I bet it's somewhere.
It's got to be somewhere. All you got to do is look in the right place. Trust me.
Yes. Okay. And if you initially, you know, because we've been looking for a very long time, right? We call the office and you ask them to come down to your property, right? And no one would come. No one could find the number yet. They've been sending you presentments and association to that APN number in regards to your property, right? And then you went and you actually found the number.
Oh, yeah? Look, I figured it out. You know, that number is the only thing that they have. So let me ask you something. If you go down and you film it and you take their APN number, you know what I mean? You take it down to the assessor's office and return it to them, okay? And then do an affidavit and give them a fee schedule. Hey, if I find any more of your APN numbers laying around my property, here's what I'm going to charge you to return it next time. Okay, anytime that you claim that there's an APN number there, I've returned it to you. So now you're making a false claim. I will file on you for the false claim. Okay, and not only for the false claim, but now you're using the mail, so that's mail fraud. So I mean, you know, I could work up a pretty good hefty
few million
tort claim against these people
in
no time without even breaking a sweat. So, you know, I'm going to return their number to them. I don't want to hear from them ever again, you know.
Yeah, because if anyone puts it back on your property, that's a trespass, right? And unless they put it on your property, how can they send you anything in relation to your APN, which is no longer on your property because you found it and you are going to return it?
Well, what I want to know is if I return the APN number to them, how many APN numbers do they have on my property? Supposed to only have one, I think.
I think, right? Because hey, that's supposed to be this number, right?
Yeah.
So when you give it back to them, now they have it. It was returned to the owner because it's APN, it's assessor's
parcel number. APN.
So now they have it. So now they cannot claim any kind of, like, maybe a rental fee or whatever they've been charging for, right?
Well, I found out it is assessor's parcel number because I went into the office and asked them, hey, who's the asshole's parcel number over here? And nobody answered to that one, you know. But it's APN, so. So,
my dear friends, so this was just a little bit light on the truth, on your rights, and just that's all it takes. That you know your rights, because if you don't know your rights, you have no rights, and your slave masters know it.
And wouldn't it be fun to say, you know what, look, on Monday, let's just all take off work and go take our APN numbers down to the assessor's office. And you just stand in there in line one after one, just drop it in there. Hey, you all can witness for each other. You know, what are they going to do? They're going to take each APN number and go back out and put it on put a no trespassing sign. It's $5,000 if you cross my property line, even for a minute. You know, you got to rent it for the whole day. So.
That's right. Our beautiful friends. So have an amazing Monday. Sending much love and light. Keep shining. Keep standing. And remember that the California Republic is open for business. And we would love to welcome our fellow Californians, one of the people, back home. Sending much love.
Later.